How's it going, everybody? Johnny Styles here with the Wellness Observer Live, your home of professional wellness. And in this video, we'll be talking about the mysterious disappearance of Jacqueline Rios from the 2023 Pittsburgh Pro. Let's do this. From Mexico, and she's really from Mexico. If you guys remembered my play-by-play, Bob Chicarillo mentioned that Giselle Machado was from Mexico, when in reality she is from Brazil, but she is residing in Mexico now. So she posted on her contract that she's from Mexico and so forth and so forth. That's what it appeared on the list. So I wanted to clear that out once again. But Jacqueline Rios, she is from Mexico. She's considered to be one of the very best professional wellness from Mexico. And you guys have seen her. She looks absolutely crazy. If you guys haven't seen her, you can check out her Instagram, which is at Jacqueline Rios, right? Jacqueline Rios underscore IFBB Pro. I'm putting it on screen right now so you guys can see her. You guys have seen this girl go through some crazy, crazy transformation. She is one of those girls that on camera, while she does the whole Instagram world, she is crazy. And what I mean by that is she has evolved in the world of, lifting weights ever since she was a little girl. And I remember her when she was just kind of looking like a bikini girl. Obviously, that didn't work out as well. And she has evolved tremendously. As you can see on screen right now, the difference is astonishing. So what happens with Jacqueline a lot is that on pictures on Instagram, she looks crazy hard, shredded. And people start, some people like that look. Some people don't like that look, as we see here in this great picture while she was waiting on the airport to go get picked up so she could travel from Mexico to Pittsburgh. And as you can see here, she was ready. She was ready on point. And the conditioning factor for Jacqueline has never been a factor. If you guys don't know, she is just 21 years old. So she's still a baby. She's still evolving in this, world of bodybuilding and fitness. So as you see here again, this is the picture that she posted as she was flying in. I don't know how many people fly in this way to airports, but I'm sure she was getting a lot of looks from TSA or whoever just saw her in the airport. So if you guys didn't know, Jacqueline did the Pittsburgh Pro and she ended up in second callouts. Again, I told you guys that if she made it on stage with a softer look, I believe, just like the Olympia, that the judges would reward her because the judges do like that about her a lot. And I'm going to talk to you guys real quick about her look and stage presentation. At first, when she came out, the first thing I noticed, and this is something that you guys can appreciate, because when we're talking about the body's, shape, structure, muscularity, we also have to talk about, the glare, the glitz, the glamour. And I'm talking about the makeup. This is one of the first things that I saw on her when she stepped on stage. She looks completely different on one tone in her face than in her body. This is something a lot of competitors do. And honestly, it depends on the foundation, on the color of your skin, the color of, your tanning and all that. She seems very light on the face. She seems like she doesn't have that dimension. And remember, when you're doing this, you are doing it in front of big lights that, you need a little bit more power in your makeup. And for you to not look this light, you can fix this by, maybe doing some more contour if you don't want to be too dark. Because again, some competitors don't like to be too dark on the face. They don't want to match up because they think that it won't look as good on pictures or video. But if you don't want that, you can do contour on your face, and it helps give dimension to your face as you're going through your poses. So she came out here and she looked softer than I was expecting, to be completely honest with you guys. I thought she was going to be a little bit harder, but her face was there, her smile was there, her posing needs to get better. She did a double turn here, right and left. I remember calling it out when we were doing the play-by-play. And the problem here was that it was way too fast. She needed to, take it a step back maybe, but she did show, the muscle that she has on her glutes. Her upper glute can still be better, and her calves can still be better. But again, she's just 21 years old. From the back, I would say I would fix this pose on her. She was like bending over a little bit too much, and it just flattened out a little bit of what we used to see on Jacqueline. We are used to seeing her a little bit harder, especially from the back. And again, showing the other side of the glute, showing that she does have glutes, but her upper glute right here can be better. Okay. So what happens? So when prejudging ended, Jacqueline was battling for that spot, maybe sixth, maybe fifth. I had her in my original play by play. I had her, Giselle, Cassandra, Tiffany. I had her, and I had Jenny Sachs. Okay, that kind of was like when they were coming out one by one, the bodies that kind of stick out for me. Lily Long Dong looked great, but again, her smaller package, it just these girls kind of like outsized her, obviously. So what happened with Jacqueline was that they ended the prejudging, and as we went to the night show, nobody could find her backstage, and it was weird. It was weird for a second because remember, this is a professional show, and when you do a professional show, usually you have to come back for the night show. This is a 2-day show as well. So what happened to Jacqueline? So what happened to Jacqueline was that she backstage, as she was pumping up, I got confirmation that her coach is Toñito Sanchez, and he was in charge of her prep this time around. And when she was pumping up and everything backstage, she was eating certain foods that she thought that it would make her better. It would harden her up. It would just, complete her overall look. So what happens is that obviously that kind of backfired. You don't see it as much in these pictures because these are prejudging pictures, but apparently she got worse and worse and worse. And the stomach aches and they're not feeling well. This was her first pro show ever in America. Got mixed up with the nerves, and then she just could not even walk due to some pain in the abdominal area. Then the show ended, and then she opted to leave for the hotel. And then I guess there were some miscommunication errors while she was still, not feeling well. She didn't feel well pretty much the entire night until very, very late at night. And she could never come back or relay the message. Number one, because she wasn't with anybody that spoke English. And number two, because she couldn't even make it out of her hotel room. So we're going to call this a health situation. She didn't show up due to a health situation. But here's what, my 2 cents on this. If you talk Spanish, if you talk Russian, if you talk Ukrainian, if you talk Polish, if you talk, I don't know, Portuguese, these goes out. I mean, remember, I'm from Puerto Rico. We talk Spanish there too. So if you're going to come to the United States of America, where the main language is English, number one, either learn English, even learn the poses in English. This goes for men too. Or come with somebody that's willing to do translations for you. Or better yet, I was told that there were people backstage that did speak Spanish. So look it up, look for information, your schedules, this, that, and the other. There's something very interesting now called Google Translator. You have it on your phone, even if you have to go to great lengths to actually talk to somebody, even from your phone, do that, because you are limiting yourself 12, 16, 20 weeks of prep just to miss a show. Something did happen in this show where I strongly believe that the judges would have placed her way ahead of where she ended up going. If you saw the show live, Bob Chicarello said, number so-and-so is a scratch. What that means is that the competitor did not show up. So I highly believe that by the end of prejudging, she could have jumped from 6th or from 7th to 5th or even to fourth, depending on how she showed up in the night show. And she not showing up just bumped her straight out of that top lineup because again the judges didn't have a chance to double look at her. But in reality, you have to be very aware of these situations. Again, she's 21 years old. This is her first show. It just sucks that she could not relate, because if something did happen that got worse on her body shape, structure, her sugar, her something, how can she relate that to the hotel people? How can she relate that to the officials? I heard there were judges looking for her. I heard there was people in the media looking for her. So moving forward, I don't care what you have to do. If you have to watch Netflix in English with subtitles in Spanish or in your preferred language, that's what you need to do in order to learn. Another thing, when you go to these events, you go to win. And if you go to win, you're going to get interviewed. I would like to at least defend myself if I'm being interviewed. Who I am, my name, where I'm from, how many weeks I've been prepping, who's my coach, little things here and there before, I visualize that moment, because you want that out there. Yes, there's people that just want translators. There's people that, get nervous, but there's tons of ways of you dealing with this situation. Nowadays, again, Google Translator, there's a friend, there's somebody. Always have something, always ask questions. The media, the federation, the NPC and the FA Pro League, they're very approachable. When you're doing your check-ins, make sure you ask, is there somebody that speaks Spanish, Portuguese, Russian? If you're there on stage with them, ask around. If you're there and you don't know what a quarter turn is, learn that a quarter turn means, when you turn, walk to the side, walk to the back. All these details are just some things that you have to put in your checklist when you're doing the show, because you don't want to do this. You don't want to, throw away 12, 16 weeks out of your prep just because something happened. And if you learn that some foods don't work, then now moving forward that those foods do not work, and you can, assess them well in your body, and your body just doesn't work with them. Again, these things happen, and these things will continue to happen until, people get more prepared moving forward. We wish Jacqueline the very, very best. I really do like her. Again, she's just 21 years old, and she has an amazing body to develop and keep still doing what she does very best, which is, continue to do the whole wellness thing, because she does a body, she does have the body for wellness. So if you don't follow her, check her out. Again, she's awesome. I'm going to put her page up right here, Jacqueline Rios _IFBB Pro. You're going to see some crazy, crazy pictures and videos from her. And yeah, it was cool. There's one cool picture of her. If you scroll down, you can see it, that it's her when she was a little girl and she was doing some leg extensions, and then, transition that to the outstanding quad development that she has developed. It's crazy. So I would say, Jacqueline, keep watching Netflix, on English with Spanish subtitles, and do your very best to not let this happen again. Now you know that these foods that you ingested are not the best for you and your body. This has been Johnny Styles, the Godfather of Wellness. Keep it locked to the Wellness Observer Live, where I'll be keeping you up to date on the New York Pro coming up in just a few short days. And let's see who's going to win. Let me know in the comments below. Let's do this.